I took a picture of my cheating wife and her coworker in the act and sent it to their boss, her coworker's wife, and her parents. My soon-to-be ex-wife, Lisa, had been acting suspiciously for a while, and I finally found out the truth. Yes, she had been cheating on me with a coworker. I know it's a cliche, but trust me, it gets better. About a month in the past, I began noticing her spending extra time at work than normal. She'd come domestic past due and head directly to bed, barely acknowledging me. I tried talking to her about it. However, she'd continually say that she'd change into just fantastic busy with a few mission or another. One night time, I was having trouble sleeping and determined to seize her cell phone to browse some memes. I know, terrible concept, but it was sitting right there. When I unlocked it, I noticed a message thread with Mark, and their conversation wasn't precisely paintings related, in case you understand what I suggest. I was devastated but wasn't approximately to let them get away with it. I needed revenge and evidence. So I began performing some digging. It turned out that they had plans to meet at a lodge proper next to their place of business for a lunch wreck rendezvous. Bingo. On the day of their little meeting, I pretended to go to work as standard, but alternatively parked my car multiple blocks far away from the inn and waited. Sure enough, I noticed Lisa and Mark walking into the resort together. I do not know why I turned into nevertheless amazed. However, I wager seeing it in person made it feel actual. I slipped into the hotel foyer after them, nodded to the woman behind the table, and observed some distance enough in the back of them to peer which room they entered. Room 114. I made my way back and approached the front desk. Luckily, someone else was standing at the counter. I put on my best panicked face and told the guy that I had left my wallet in room 114 and that my wife was going to kill me. He looked concerned and, without hesitation, gave me a spare key. He didn't even check to see if someone else had checked in. I walked down the hall and waited a few minutes to ensure that they had settled in, then made my way to their room. I ought to listen, muffled voices and laughter coming from interior. My coronary heart became pounding in my chest, but I knew I had to undergo with it. I took a deep breath, slid the important thing into the lock, and swung the door open. The scene before me was exactly what I expected, but that didn't make it any easier. Lisa and Mark were tangled up in bed together and looked up in shock. I don't think I'll ever forget the expression on their faces when they realized they'd been caught. Before they could even react, I whipped out my phone and started taking pictures. They scrambled to cover themselves, but it was too late. I had the proof I needed. The more they tried to hide, the more pictures I snapped. It was honestly pretty satisfying. As soon as I was sure I had enough evidence, I sent the pictures to their boss, Mark's wife, and even his parents. If they desired to act like trash, I changed into going to ensure everyone knew about it. As I hit send, I shouted, "You're both going to pay for this!" Lisa started out crying, begging me to forgive her, saying it was a mistake, but the damage was performed. I stormed out of the room, leaving them in their shame. The next day, I filed for divorce. I wasn't going to let Lisa make a fool of me any longer. It turns out the pictures I sent had quite an impact. Their boss fired both Lisa and Mark's wife was livid. I cannot blame her. I'd be livid too if I had been in her footwear. Mark's mother and father had been embarrassed and ashamed in their son, and they reached out to apologize to me. They had no idea what their son had been up to and were genuinely sorry. Word spread like wildfire around their workplace, and their reputations were pretty much destroyed. I can't say I feel bad for them. They made their choices and had to face the consequences. Mark's wife ended up divorcing him, and she and I had several conversations on the phone as we pieced the whole story together. This had been going on for months, and neither of us had seen it due to the blind trust we had in our spouses. So what's the moral here? Start paying attention early so you don't waste a bunch of time in a relationship that has already ended. Get out and move on. Great things await you. How do you think I handled the situation? What would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comment and subscribe my channel AI Cheating Stories. Thanks.